Growing up, I had dreams and aspirations, but always felt like the kid that didn't fit in. For the most part, I wasn't a bad kid, but when I made the transition into adulthood, I turned to the streets for guidance. This led to getting locked up in juvenile hall, doing time in CYA, and eventually a 120-month sentence in federal prison. I had a lot of time to think and reflect during my federal sentence, so I share with you what I learned, hoping I can positively influence someone else's life with Prison Talk.
What's up, everybody? Big Herc, fresh out, and you're tuned into another edition of Prison Talk. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe, tell your friends about it. We got the dopest show on YouTube, trying to educate you guys. We're not glamorizing shit. We're just trying to spread information so that you can make better choices and hopefully stay the fuck out the way. Make sure you guys go check out our website at FreshOutSeries.com, subscribe, check out some of the dope apparel we have, and also leave a comment. If you want to email us, shoot us an email at FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. Also, we're going to be at the Vans Warped Tour Pomona on June 21st. Come check us out. We'll be doing a meet and greet. I would love to hear from you guys. I want to talk about Chicago today, ChIRAQ, and all the violence that's been taking place over there. And, amidst all the talk of gun laws and the NRA and all this stuff going on, you hear very little about what goes on in these communities in Chicago. Well, within the last week, 84 people have been shot. And from Friday to Sunday, 41 people were shot. That's fucking crazy, man. It's like, I don't know if you guys can do the math, but Friday to Sunday, so you got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's 3 days. 3 divided by 41, you're talking about roughly 13 people a day are getting shot. Now, we talk about these gun laws and changing this and changing that, but how are the guns getting into these neighborhoods? They're not being bought legally. So when you talk about making it stricter for you to get this gun, that gun, it's not going to stop shit but push the market underground. And I'm not saying that there doesn't need to be change. I'm just saying that the level of violence that's taking place in these communities, it's not even being spoken of. I mean, it's like the elephant in the room. Nobody wants to talk about it. Why isn't this stuff being addressed? Why isn't all this black on black violence, being in the forefront of all these hip hop guys, these guys with these platforms who are able to, bring it to light? It's like, we take it for granted that your kid or your sister or your brother or your mom or dad or your grandparents are able to go to and from work or school safely. Well, for some people, it's not even a question. It's like you leave the house, you bring your gun, and you try to basically draw down like the Wild West. And it's sad, man. It's a sad state. And to tell you the truth, I don't have an answer. I don't know what you can tell a youngster who's surrounded by violence, who's seeing, death or shootings every day, how to stop it. But I know that, people in the community are trying to do things, and I think that more effort needs to be put forth by the people who have the platforms and the followers to make a difference. Whether you're an athlete, whether you're a hip-hop artist or an actor or a politician, a business owner, man, let's try to create some change. It's sad, and people shouldn't have to live like this, man. I mean, you think about, you say people, a lot of these shootings are taking place, and you think about like accessibility to guns and, stopping these different acts of violence. Well, who's gonna be the one to actually step up and clean up the legal gun trade? these guns that are coming off, into the neighborhoods through whatever underground shipments or whatever illegal means are making somebody a lot of money. So whether it be somebody internally involved in some type of legalized department in the police force or ATF, or somebody who got access to this stuff. I know most of these people in the neighborhoods ain't got access to crates of guns unless somebody is selling them to them. And who's selling them to them? It's got to be somebody, on the legitimate side. So you say stop the violence. Well, economically, it's not going to happen, man, unless somehow there's something that takes the place of the money that's being made from these guns. I mean, they said in one incident, early Sunday morning, 2 men ages 22 to 24 were wounded as they walked out of the building on the same block where a 12-year-old boy was shot hours earlier. These 2 incidents happened about 2 blocks away from the site of the homicide. At least a few of the wounded were children. Now, on Saturday, around 9:20 p.m., a 12-year-old boy was critically injured after he was shot in the stomach. The police said the boy was wounded by a gunman who fired into a crowd on a sidewalk on city's west side. Police are searching for the assailant. They said he was arguing with a woman before allegedly firing a weapon. I mean, who does that, man? Who just opens fire in a crowd and fucking doesn't give a fuck? I mean, man, it's sad, it's sickening, and it's, I don't know what it's a reflection of, and it's nothing to glamorize, but I really send out condolences to the families who have to deal with this, and I hope there's some type of change that takes place soon so you don't have all these people dying over nothing and these young men going to prison for shootings that could have been avoided. There's got to be an alternative, man, and there's just no reason for it. It says some of the victims appear to simply have terrible luck. In an incident on Wednesday evening, a 41-year-old man was struck in his thigh and legs as he lay in bed in his apartment on the west side. Police said the bullets was fired by somebody in an adjacent apartment. The suspect fled before police arrived. I mean, fuck, you're laying in your bed watching the news and you get shot in the leg. I mean, it blows me away, man. And it just blows me away because it's not being talked about more on the news. So I bring this subject to light with hopes that people in the community, people around the world, people who can possibly create some change, speak out about this and try to see if we can't save some lives here, because Chicago should not be known as ChIRAQ. That's not something I think that should be bragged about when you're talking about, one of the 3rd largest cities in the country. It should be more of a positive connotation than something that's associated with war.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.